Hello and welcome to the Spartan Sports Report. I'm Tom Cavanaugh.
And I'm Zach Zdenek. This show is jam-packed, Tom. We got a lot to get to.
Yes, we do, and we start on the hardwood tonight. Michigan State at home at the Breslin.
After a bad loss to Penn State last week, Tom Izzo was looking for a response out of his team against Illinois. The Breslin Center was packed on Saturday afternoon for a top 20 Big Ten matchup. Illinois got off to a hot start in the first half, led by Jacob Grandison. Here, one of his 5 first-half three-pointers. He finished with 24 for the Illini. Michigan State fell behind, but it wasn't all bad for the Spartans in the first half as Max Christie powers through contacts, finishing for the and one. Spartans would trail by 12 going into the break, and the lead continued to grow into the second half. But A.J. Hogard finds Tyson Walker for a three late, and he would not be denied in the second half. 24 of his 26 points coming after halftime, but it would not be enough for Michigan State as Trent Frazier drills the dagger in the final 20 seconds to secure a 79-74 victory for Illinois. Tom Izzo had mixed feelings about the game afterwards.
So all in all, very disappointed with our first half. Second half, we scored 52 points against the best defensive team in the league when we only scored 54 or 5 at Penn State. I think there's always times when you can learn from games. I don't like learning from a loss, but I thought we learned something from a loss.
Tom Izzo's team is seeking a bounce-back win as they face number 25 ranked Iowa on the road Thursday night. Now to the women's side of things. They were in Wisconsin Wednesday night. Let's start with the first quarter. Both teams traded buckets to start. Matilda Eck drives to the left, draws another Wisconsin defender, and dishes to Alicia Smith for the easy two. Once again, here's Haley Douglas, hits a corner three off an assist from Tara Stoffaker to go up by 5 at the half. MSU opened the second half with a corner three of their own. Matilda Eck from an assist, Nia Clouden. The game remained close through the third quarter, but MSU pulled away in the fourth, having the largest lead of the game at 13 points. MSU went on to win the game 74-67. Head coach Susie Merchant was pleased after her team's performance in this one.
I thought our second half was much better. I mean, they came out with great energy. We were trying to turn things up a little bit. We couldn't press, but we were trying to do some things in the quarter court defensively to get them out of a rhythm.
The women's team will be back in action this Thursday on the road against in-state rival and number 6 ranked Michigan. MSU pulled off the upset over the Wolverines in their first meeting back a few weeks ago and look for the season sweep.
The women's gymnastics team was in Toledo, Ohio on Saturday for the Big Five meet against Nebraska, Illinois, Rutgers, and Ohio State. They came out on top, finishing with a season-high road score of 196.975. The highest individual score of the night came from senior Ashley Hoflick on floor at 9.925. That's the 6th time this season she's captured that number. Spartans moved to number 10 in the national rankings and 2nd overall in the Big Ten. They traveled to Ohio again this weekend for a dual meet against Ohio State.
Let's go to the ice now as MSU hockey has been struggling. They have lost 10 straight heading into the weekend series at Notre Dame. Fifth-year senior Mitchell Lewandowski returned from injury and was back in the lineup for the first time since December 30th. Right away, a quick pass to junior forward Eric Winnendorf, who slammed it past Notre Dame goalie Matthew Galida to give MSU a 1-0 lead. Second period now, Notre Dame throws a puck on net, and it's tipped in by Hunter Strand to tie the game at 1. Final period, Strand rips a pass to Landon Slaggert, who nets the goal to give Notre Dame a 2-1 lead. That score would hold, and Michigan State drops its 11th straight game. Spartans would also fall to the Fighting Irish on Saturday night by a final score of 4-2, bringing their losing streak to 12 games.
Hey, we're going through it, and you know the options are, we can, the coaches can hide, and I'm not a hider.
Now to the mat at Jennison Fieldhouse for the senior night matchup against Central Michigan. With alumni in attendance, the 133-pound senior Rayvon Foley helped the Spartans early with a 15-4 major decision, putting Michigan State up 7-0. Later in the matchup, it's Lane Molcheski who narrowly avoids getting pinned in this one before flipping around and pinning Central Michigan's Ben Cushman for the comeback win, putting the Spartans up 16-12. Michigan State would finish with a 19-7 victory over the Chippewas.
Well, I got to fight off the back first, obviously. Got that done. Got a reversal with little time left. And then right from there, coach has just told me to keep it calm. I've been here before. I can always come back from anything and chip away. And luckily something happens, goes my way. And I took full advantage of it and it worked my way, so that was good.
The Spartans will now enjoy a couple of weeks rest before the Big Ten Championships begin March 5th in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Men's tennis was back on the court this weekend as the Spartans met Middle Tennessee State at home on Sunday. Let's get right into the matches. An early rally to start for senior Carson Gates. A low slice drop shot from his opponent, but Gates hustling back from the baseline to win the point. Luke Bayless now, who was down a set but fought back in the second, he gets up to the net, hits one volley at the baseline, then tops it off with another cross-court finish. Number 1 ranked singles Jack Winkler faced the nationally ranked player who was sitting at 61st overall in the Intercollegiate Tennis Association. Match point now for Winkler. His opponent hits a backhand right at the baseline, but he can't respond to this deep forehand shot from the Spartan. Winkler earns the upset victory in straight sets, 6-3, 6-3. The redshirt senior talked about his performance after the win.
So, just trying to keep on him, trying to give him a tough match as possible. I knew he's going to step up in the second set because, first set didn't go the way he wanted. I don't think either of us were playing really the way we wanted. It was pretty gritty, pretty ugly match, but I knew if I just stuck with it, kind of ride the wave, hopefully it would have gone in my favor.
On the women's side, the Spartans played the Eagles of Eastern Michigan on Friday, starting off with some big plays from the doubles matches en route to a Spartan sweep of all 3 contests. Now over to singles action. Mary Lewis with a nice backhand shot that leads to an EMU unforced error. Here's Aish Can with a great forehand return. MSU went on to win the point and the match. Moving on to the number 2 singles match, Nicole Stevens rallies here before hitting a strong forehand shot that grazes the net, leaving her opponent unable to return. Ending the women's day at the tennis facility, it's Stevens again with a forehand shot, but the return is long. Spartans swept the match, helping MSU to a 6-1 victory over the Eagles. The women's team is back in action this Saturday at home against Bowling Green.
That's all we have for this edition of Spartan Sports Report. I'm Tom Cavanaugh.
And I'm Zach Sardenik. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.